Gary, what do you make of this afternoon's game?
Well, I think you said to me it was a poor performance on Saturday. I think you got the wrong day. I think it was poor in the end today. Having said that, I think with 11 men we don't lose the game. Whether we go and win it or not, we were struggling to break them down a little bit. And then with 10 men at 0-0, we had two unbelievable chances to take the lead, and we didn't take them, and it's come back to bite us. So, you know, we were, as soon as Eze went off, which was a ridiculous challenge from him, it made it difficult for us, and we've ended up losing the game, and just simply not good enough, you know, from that moment on, really.
Why do you think he went in for that challenge? Desperation?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Simon that. As to why he went for the challenge. You know, he's not a young player. He's experienced, and he knows he's made an error in doing that.
Do you know what the first yellow card was? Was it dissent the first yellow card he got?
I don't know. He's got 2 yellows though, so I knew what the second one was for.
Yeah. Do you feel as though he's let down you and your side today?
I'm not going to say he's let us down. I think you know, you're going to have to ask the player the question as to why he made the challenge. When you're already on a yellow card, you know, you can't breathe on anybody these days. You get a yellow card, so to go in and make a challenge like that, and then it did make it difficult for us. But like I said, you know, not long after we had 2 chances to take the lead with that, and it's ended up coming back to bite us, like I've just said. But like, you know, whether we'd have won the game, I certainly don't think we'd have lost the game with 11 players. The least we'd have got was a draw today and another point. But to lose the game in the manner that we have, and then it started to get a little bit desperate because we're trying to get a goal back, and you know, it doesn't look good. So very, very disappointing day for us after, you know, a good result on Saturday. And in the end, you know, it's got to be said that overall it wasn't good enough. It has to be a lot better than that. We know it has to be a lot better than that. But as in football, like I say, we have to show that, although it's reasons we don't want to be learning, we have to learn today what we need to be, and go forward from the 7th game onwards, which is what today is, and don't look back. You know, we've lost Mokes, which was a loss for us. We've lost Louis today. We've lost Eze now for a game. You know, we're not a big squad, and you know, there's 3 players there that are in the starting 11 that, you know, we don't want to be missing. But you know, when we are, we've got to handle it better. And there's a lot of players in the dressing room at this moment in time know that they could do a lot better.
Away from the players who weren't available to you and the red card, are you able to put your finger on why it's just not clicking, especially here at home at the minute? Why you're not getting the goals that maybe you think you deserve?
Well, nothing changes as in football. The hardest thing to do is put the ball in the back of the net, and you know, we've had chances. John's had a great chance at the back post first half. You know, Ranks is a few yards out. Amari, you know, he hits the player who's running back towards goal, and so that will always be the hardest thing. You know, we could have won this game today. We've had chances to do that. I think Alex Whittle has been immense for us the last couple of games, and then his poor touches enabled them to break on us. So I feel for him, because I think he's been one of our top performers in certainly this season, but certainly, you know, the last 2 games.
And you're frustrated as well, because both halves you started off really fast on the front foot, didn't you? And then it seemed to go downhill as each half progressed.
Yeah, I didn't think it went downhill first half. I think, you know, we kept plugging away. They put bodies behind the ball and made it difficult for us, and we were struggling to break them down a little bit. When we did get in good areas, possibly a little bit like Saturday, our final ball or decision making wasn't good enough. And I think that's all that was today. We certainly got in and around their box a few times, and you know, the quality wasn't there first half. So I don't think we dropped off first half. We've had a couple of chances second half, and then, you know, like I say, the sending off has certainly changed it. But with 10 men, we should do better, and you know, it possibly won't be the last time we go down to 10 men. And if we're going to go down to 10 men, we've got to perform better than that.
It became disjointed, didn't it? What do you do looking forward now? You said you talked about the midfield options that you've got, or the options you maybe don't have. Do you have to start looking into the transfer market and thinking about bringing somebody in on loan?
I'll look at it, and if that's the case, then I'll ask whether that's possible. But if not, then we've got a squad of players that have to go and deal with where we are and who we are and what we're about. And I have to put a team out there to go and win a game of football. So that hurts us today. That hurts us today because we know, not just the fact that winning a game, what it would have done, but I think mentally, for everybody, because that's what football does for you. If you struggle mentally, certainly today, is going to be a tough one to bounce back from. But if you're strong, if you learn by what's happened and you keep believing in what you do, then you'll bounce back. So, like I've just said there a minute ago, we've got to look at the 7th game against FC United here today. It's got to trigger something for us that, when the 42 games are up and we've gone and done what we want to do, we'll say it started because of what happened on the 7th game. That's how positive you have to be. It's hard at the moment, I understand, and everybody be going home and having the cup of tea or going to the pub and having the pint that will be absolutely probably disgusted with the performance and absolutely frustrated with not getting anything today. That's the game we're in, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, it has to be better than that. I know it has to be better than that. We have to do better, whether we've got 11 men or 10 men. It was a hot day out there. You could see when we went down to 10, it was going to be tough. We'd played on Saturday, so it was tough for a few players out there because they've had 2 games in 3 days, and the last thing you want to do, certainly in this heat, is go down to 10 men.
Is the mental side of the game starting to concern you a little bit? I'm thinking today you've lost against a side that, no disrespect to United, most people thought you were going to beat. Telford, the opening day, most people thought you were going to beat. Even back to last season, we had the Bromley and the Wrexham games here. They're the games that you've struggled in, haven't you?
Well, I don't. Mentally, every player has to get the best out of themselves. It's a big part of the game. It's a massive part of the game. How you prepare for a game, whoever you're playing against. The old saying, it's easy to get up for the big ones and the lesser ones. There's no lesser ones. They're all big games. They're all massive games. And, whoever you play against, they've had a good shape about them today and made it difficult for us. But we've got to be good enough because there's players out there who are good enough to break these teams down and take the chances that we create. So we haven't taken our chances when we were at 0-0 today. I know they've had a couple as well, and then we concede, for me, a couple of sloppy goals, but it was always going to be difficult. When we conceded one, we were gambling, and then they got the second. So it's hard, but you have to hold your hand up and say fair play to them. They come and frustrated and done what they done and got the result. We've got to now look at it, and I've got to look at it as manager and get it right for Saturday against Chorley. And
you mentioned that bit of lady luck against you as well. You hit the post twice. Louis Armand obviously wasn't available to you. How bad's his rib injury?
Well, he's just got sore ribs, so they're really sore at the moment. Obviously affecting him, so they're always difficult ones to treat. It's not like a pulled muscle or anything like that. So it's just bruised ribs. So we're just going to hope that they settle down. And we get Louis back, because obviously we need every player back as quick as possible, and we've got to go to 2 away games now and try and pick up 6 points, and that's what we'll try and do.
Do you think you'll find it easier playing away from home for a couple of games? Because the away record's superb, isn't it?
No, it doesn't come any easier. I just like I've said, teams come here, make it difficult for us, and every team, possibly apart from Nuneaton, where we got complacent at 3-0 and 4-1, but that's not good enough. We nearly ended up drawing against Nuneaton when we're 3 goals up. So obviously there's things not right, and that again, we talk about it mentally. That's a mental thing. That the game we spoke here back of the stand about, even yourself. You think the game's won. It never is. And you learn from every game. I've been in the game long enough to know that. I don't like losing. I'm hurting at the moment because we're at home again today. Fantastic support again today, and we haven't produced the goods.